Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our Thursday, July 23rd, very special edition of a Star Maker call. Anna called me yesterday because she's going to Adeline, to do a live event for in Australia, and she normally takes care of the calls for Star Maker. So she said to me, Luigi, you want to take care of that call? I'm sure that you'll find somebody interesting to bring. So then she called me today. She says, "Oh, you always do that to me, Luigi. Every time I'm not on the call, you bring on Paul or Tuan." I said, "Hey, you told me to bring on somebody interesting. I kept my promise, right, Anna?" So yes, we have somebody interesting here tonight. I guess probably probably the reason that we're all here. All right, let's be honest here. It all started for me even before OlyNation because I was introduced by somebody else. His name is Bob in Singapore. And you all know my story, why I really fell in love with this product. I mean, listen, it just completely changed my life. I'm sorry. Um, what it did to me, my health, my brain, my mental state, my physical look, everything. It just completely switched. It's like the switch just turned on. It was off, it went on. So for me, it was easy to start sharing this. So I started building this. I started building this. And one of the reasons that I started was because I went to Singapore and I met Paul for the first time. That was in January last year, not this year, January last year. I went to meet him. I wasn't building yet. We went to meet him, about 10 leaders there, just to kind of feel him out, feel the company. Uh, and we were impressed by their hospitality, by also their sense of giving, like because when I started, Paul was supportive with me and some of my teams too, helping us do some events. And that's something that came from the leadership. It's just, I don't know why in OlyLife, that's just the way it is. Whether it's from Brian to Paul, Paul to me to you, and now you, when you make money, it's you to your teams, right? Like it's just like pass it down, right? There's this kind of a mentality or way of doing things in OlyLife that is different than everything I've ever experienced. And that's why I'm also very giving to the Frequency Awakening, to our community, because it's something that I lived through Paul and Brian and how they were doing things. So anyways, all that said, we started building it, and then all of a sudden, we saw Tuan and OlyNation come to life. Then I found out that Tuan was actually somewhere on top of me because Paul had reached out to Tuan before me, but Tuan was not building it yet. He was not yet excited enough. And Luigi was excited, but Tuan was not. Then when Luigi started, like at some point, also creating some momentum, Paul will use that as leverage and called Tuan and said, "Hey, look at that. Your downline's building, Tuan." So then he got Tuan on board. And I'm glad he did because it was actually very beneficial because Tuan and Van and OlyNation has been a big reason why we've all even exploded more. Not saying that we would not have, but sometimes in life, it's a combination of many factors success. It's not one reason. I mean, I don't care if you're Ford and you invented the Ford car. Ford, the reason he succeeded was not because of himself. It's because he was able to surround himself with smart people, people that brought something different to the table. And that's what we've done in the Frequency Awakening, actually. We've created a very powerful system with the platform, with the replicated website that we just added 6 languages now. And we're also another 3 languages coming next week. So it's very exciting. But we also have OlyNation that created a lot of marketing for us, a lot of videos for us. And we were able to use all of that to actually help us also develop what we're doing. But all of that is also, by the way, a gracious tea of Paul, because when he created OlyNation, and we're all part of OlyNation here on this call, and I'm sure that there's many of you from other teams too. It's not just a Frequency Awakening, because when we do a call, it's open to everyone. And we are one family, one frequency, one love. Why? Well, because when we went to California, we were mingling with the Hawaiians, with Team Impact, with all the other teams. And there's this kind of blessing in what we're doing right now that we don't see often in network marketing. Usually it's always, like tie throat, everybody's trying to steal everybody. Everybody doesn't want to help each other. Hey, everyone, do you all realize where we are right now? We're at the beginning of something that's going to blow up in our face. And I really, you better register this, because if you think that you're maybe a little bit behind the curve, hey, come on, are you serious? We had one event in America, one event in California. 400 people? You call that blown up? Normally, network marketing companies, you go there, there's 10,000, 20,000 people. We had one event in one city in the USA with 400 people. Wow. Hey, that's one city. What about Boston, Washington, and New York, Florida? You want to go on? I mean, all of these cities are countries in the US. And that's besides Canada too. I mean, okay, in the USA there's 300 million people. In Canada we're like maybe 60 million. But it doesn't matter. Canada, we have Vancouver, Toronto, Winnipeg, Calgary, Montreal. There are some major cities here, just a little bit more separated, right? And then after that, there's Europe. That's another 300 million people. Now, I want you to understand something before I bring you on, Paul. This company, since 2022, has been very strong in Asia. Very strong. They have 7 registered offices in Asia. Outside of Asia, there's 0. No registered office, no warehouse when I started a year and a half ago. Actually, when I started a year and a half ago, I don't know why but they didn't even have the need to want to blow it up outside. For some reason, they're very, very comfortable, Paul. Making $85 million a month. They don't really have the need. Things are going very well in Asia. But at some point, when we started creating some momentum with OlyNation, all of us, they did realize that there's some serious growth that can happen outside of Asia. And that's where we got a warehouse in Canada. And from 2-month delays, it takes less than 2 weeks now. USA, it would take up to 2 months. Now there's 2 warehouses in the USA, one east, one west, less than 2 weeks. Hey, we started when credit cards weren't working a year ago, when shipping took 2 months, listen, it was a mess. You're coming in right now when we have warehouses less than 2 weeks. On top of that, it doesn't stop there. We start building Europe a little bit, warehouse in Europe. Hey, my people in Europe are getting their products less than 2 weeks, Paul. Less than 2 weeks in Europe. Australia, you have a warehouse now, less than 2 weeks. Now, is it always going to be perfect? Of course not. There might be some times where something might happen. I don't know. Listen, things happen. Or let's say at the warehouse, they don't have enough merchandise because we sell it too fast. They have to wait for the next shipment. That's going to happen. But we are on the brinks of a major explosion. And then when you look at the numbers, because for people that are networkers or business people, let's look at how many people are there. Listen, I think maybe I'd say if I look at the frequency, and I know what part of that is OlyNation, maybe there's 30,000 people. 30,000 people outside of Asia. There's maybe 8,000 in US, 3,000 in Canada, 3,000 in Europe, 3,000 in Australia. Everyone? Do you understand what that means? Do you understand what that means where we are right now? So you're just like ground floor. You're on the ground floor, but now with a little bit more ammunition because now we have warehouses. Support is getting better. The company has eyes on us. All right, listen, I think I'll let you talk about that, but I'm pretty sure that the company now sees the numbers, and these people understand money too. So I'm sure that there's some kind of focus now because things are going a little bit faster like when we started, it took 6 months before we got a warehouse. Europe started, it took only a month to get a warehouse. So I think they're activating faster than what they did for us, right? But I really want to emphasize that before we get on this call. We'll let Paul share a lot of love because he woke up very early this morning. He's not easy to get on a call. But listen, for all of us who met him in California, he's very serious. He's not the type of guy that you'll get drunk with. No. But boy, does he have a big heart. He has a big heart, a great smile, and he knows what he's doing, all right? He really does. I'm very honored to bring him on because he is the reason why we are all here. But at the same time, I want you all to understand something, and this is pretty magical. I've been in network marketing for 40 years. I've done product-based company for 35 years. I've never succeeded. I don't care what it was. I've never succeeded in a product-based company with an auto ship, never. It's like every time I would build, people would drop off their auto ships, and after 3-4 months, I'd have to find new people. After a while, I wouldn't have enough people to find. I'd quit. I'm not an influencer. I don't have 100,000 people on Instagram. I don't have 100,000 people on TikTok to fill up. Like it's like you have a big pot, you put a hole on it, and the water keeps in. I'm not that type of a marketer. So when I joined OlyLife, and it's a product-based company, I didn't expect, like, I don't know, to make an overnight sensation. But you know what? Many of us are succeeding right here. Why are we succeeding? Because there's something special in OlyLife. There's no auto ship. There's no yearly renewal. So how can you make passive income if there's no auto ship? I'll tell you how. Once you understand the way that we are rewarded, we're paid to infinity, on the binary, on the tier bonus. It's infinity. Not 8 levels, it's infinity. So every time new people come in, you're paid. But then we have something else special. This is not a water company where they sell machines at $7,000 a water machine, where you sell just one. This is one of those things where you sell one product, and then the person likes the product. They'll buy another product. They like it. They'll buy another product. And guess what? Every year they come out with 2 new products, or 3 sometimes, because they started 4 years ago. One product, the P90, came out the P90 Plus, the Galaxy, the Shaken, this. You know all the products here. We're not here for the products here today, even though the products are why we're here. And we're all here because we really love the products, Paul. I mean, I can tell you right away that this community loves these products. But what I love even more is the way that the company seems to find new products every year that surprise us. Last year, they surprised us. Yes, we're waiting for the water machine. Like, I know that it's coming, because I asked Kai, I said, are you sure we're going to get this water machine? He says, yes, Luigi, we're going to get it. They're just holding on a little bit to make sure that when it launches, there's not too many returns, all right? It's something serious, okay? Thank you. Yes, the water machine is there, but that's not the only thing that's coming out. There's other things at ODC. Listen, we'll talk a little bit about ODC, a little bit about Thailand. But before that, I really want to give the stage to you, Paul. Paul, thank you for everything you did for this community. We are excited, buddy. But yeah, it would be nice to get your vision on things. I mean, how you see things. I mean, what's happening here? I mean, OlyNation is exploding.
Thank you, Luigi. Good morning, everyone, or good evening. Good morning in Taiwan. Yeah, and happy birthday, Scott. Happy birthday, Pete. It was great meeting you guys in events, and I missed you. And yeah, so hearing what Luigi said just brought me back to last year. I still have the first Zoom call that I did with Luigi. I took a picture, and in one of the events, I'm gonna show it to everyone, right?
Please do. I
No.
want to see how I look.
Luigi before the P90 and Luigi after. It's a totally different Luigi. Yeah, so last year it was really amazing. We had a lot of challenges, but because of the leadership, that's where we got to where we are right now. With all the credit card not working and back orders, people had to wait for 2 months. And I still remember last year, November, after people are getting their products after waiting for 2 months, then there was a batch of P90 Plus where it doesn't work. So, we had to work with the company to really have everything replaced. So what Luigi shared is very important. Like, this company is not perfect. It's kind of they have a different mentality on how to operate. But the good thing about this company is that they always improve. I remember Anna when she started, there was no warehouse in Australia. They had to wait for a long time. When Gabor and when Gabor started in Europe, there wasn't a warehouse, but now everything is coming together. So what I am sensing now is an even brighter future. It was tough last year, but this year, starting from this year and onwards, everything is gonna be easy, a lot smoother, and it will be good for everybody's business. So, in Asia, we have been around for 3 years and a half. Where I live in Taiwan, it's been 3 years and a half. And what I'm seeing now is that just last 2 months, I'm not sure if you heard of this company called Reway. It's pretty big in Asia. They are doing supplements. I think it's deer placenta or something. Yeah, they were very big. They are even bigger than Amway in a lot of the Asian markets. And now we are seeing a lot of these leaders, like the highest rankers or highest earners, coming over to OlyLife. Just yesterday, we signed up a MLM owner, a company in Taiwan, who is the owner. He signed up. He got all his speakers signed up, and now he's now preparing to close his company, now bringing everybody to OlyLife. So even after 3.5 years, there's gonna be people that's really that after 3.5 years, they will finally see what OlyLife is, the future of OlyLife. So what I'm seeing with the Western, I always call it the Western market, for example, US, Canada, Australia, and Europe. This is only our first year, and the biggest leaders are not in yet. But just imagine after 2 years or 3 years, when more and more people succeed, more and more stories coming out from the products, and more testimonials of the income, then there will be people that will be late in the game, but they will be joining us very soon. Because the reason for that, what I believe, this is all my personal thoughts, right? Is right now, OlyLife, what I think of OlyLife is that there's no competitors in this market. There's no competitors in MLM. No, they are not even near us. They are similar products, but with the variety of products that we have, with all the patents and all the stories that we're coming out, they are no way near us in the MLM world. In the traditional market, we don't have a brand of a competitor yet on wellness electronics. So OlyLife is the only one on the market right now. And are we going to have competitors in the future? Yes, but it will take some time for them to catch up, right? So I believe we have a lot of years that's waiting for us to really capture this market. And that's what I've been sharing to a lot of the top earners in this field, and also even the company owners, right? Because, for example, the one we signed up yesterday, they're doing supplements. And I and he's sharing with me how competitive the supplements is, in this industry, and how their people cannot stay in one place. They're always jumping around. And all I told them is, well, you are in a place where we call it the red market, where everybody's fighting each other. Why don't you come to a market where there's no competitors like OlyLife? And then I just shared with them my back office. You are, as an owner of a company, your income or even your sales is not even bigger than my team, right? It's a team. I'm not the owner of OlyLife, but I'm only a distributor in OlyLife. Your income is not higher than me. Your sales is not higher than me. And we're building globally where you're just building locally, right? So the other thing why OlyLife is attracting so many people is that in traditional companies, it takes them years to open up new markets. OlyLife, 3.5 years, we can now build business in 160 countries. This is the opportunity that we have. You know, I remember when Luigi started, I said, Luigi, Canada is your market. Be the king of Canada. And then he goes out and doing Zooms, and then he built a team in Europe and Australia and everywhere around the world. And how many in Canada? I'm not sure, but all I know, Luigi is not building in Canada. He's building everywhere around the world. Well, and I think that's the beauty of this business, because that's what the company did that allows us to build not just the local market, but also global markets, right? And there is a culture difference with Asia and Canada or US. In Asia, people like to meet face to face, belly to belly. And that's how we build. We have offices in different parts of the city. We do seminars, 2 seminars a day, and we have devices there allowing people to come and try it while, listening to the seminars. That's how we build in China, in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia are the same. However, in the US and Canada, because you guys have such a big land, it's very hard for people to go to one place to another. So Luigi, Tuan Van, they love to use Zooms, which I have no idea how to build with Zooms, right? Because we are very used to getting people on the devices, on the machines. But you guys did a great job. And I think that's a culture difference. And through Zooms, you guys can build everywhere, at the same time, where we have to build one place, then to go to another place, then go to another place. And I'm seeing Luigi and Tuan, most of the time they stay at home, just do all different calls throughout the day, and it works.